and welcome to a brand new edition of your favorite current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Ego Sagunao. It's always a delight to have you on the show. It promises to be exciting. We'll be dissecting national issues on the program today. Because in Benin Television, we ensure that we get news of the nooks and crannies of the country. On today's program, we are focusing on entrenching democracy and rule of law in Nigeria. We're taking a look at what will be happening on Saturday in Anambra State, Anambra governorship election, vis-a-vis the trappings expected in a democratic setting. We'll also look at the rule of law. Don't forget what happened recently. The alleged invasion of Justice Odili's residence by security personnel. We'll be looking at that. Is that rule of law? Is rule of law being upheld in the country? We have with us very distinguished personalities. I have an eminent legal practitioner and a very seasoned social commentator, analyst. Talking about Barrister Tim Obamedo again. Nice to have you on the show.
Always my pleasure.
Okay, it's a delight to have you.
And happy viewing, viewers.
We have in our midst too a highly respected clergyman, Apostle Elvis Amonayima. Nice to have you.
Thanks for having me. Viewers, God bless you.
Okay.
Bless you.
I have with me as well a regular face, well-traveled, seasoned analyst, Ambassador Eyalua Andrew, who is the president of a pressure group, United in Democracy, political analyst and communication strategist with us on the show. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, viewers.
Okay, we are set. We are set to dissect the topic for today. But before we do that, talking about the Anambra elections, the stakeholders meeting has been held with security personnel and, of course, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood, addressed the stakeholders. The IGP also addressed the stakeholders. Don't forget that recently, last month precisely, while security personnel joined security team on a show for the college show of force, where they drive in a convoy around the town, around Oka, around different local government to, calm nerves and make the people have confidence in the security personnel that their safety is assured. Armed men attacked the convoy. It was a shock and it was like a movie, and we captured it and we'll bring you an excerpt on the show before we analyze the program. But let's listen to Professor Mahmood and the IGP and that incident.
Out of the 5,720 polling units in Anambra State, 86 polling units, representing 1.5% of the total number of polling units, have no voters. There are no voters in 86 polling units in Anambra State. The Commission will not be deploying personnel and materials to these polling units.
Aside the optimal deployment of our intelligence assets to proactively frustrate any threat to the election, we have also deployed a total of 34,587 police personnel for the purpose of protecting the personnel and assets of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the electorate themselves, the residents of Anambra State during this exercise.
just like a movie. It was a true life situation, a convoy attacked by armed men in Anambra State. I'm going to start with this question with Barrister Tim Wogien Obame. Do you think there will be voter apathy because of the security situation in Anambra State on Saturday? We'll start from there.
Certainly, yes.
Okay.
There will be, because you cannot thrive when there is insecurity.
Okay.
And I want to say that Anambra elections we hold,
Okay.
if there is no interference or meddlesome interloping from the powers that be.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
You opening remarks. Okay, Apostle. Now that was like a movie. We saw very daring armed men attacked security convoy, joint security patrol. Well, that actually explains the insecurity in the country and of course in Anambra. But do you think that will have an effect on the elections on Saturday?
Aside the clip, the footage we just watched,
Yes.
A lot of things have been happening in that state, and even outside Anambra State, in the whole of Nigeria. And the truth of the matter is that it will affect the outcome.
Okay.
That alone will scare some persons, because so many things that will be happening before that day, even before the footage that we just watched. It will discourage some persons.
Yeah.
Some people will be afraid of their, to be careful for their life.
Yeah. Okay.
It will affect.
Ambassador Aloan, what's your take on Saturday Anambra election based on what we've just seen?
Well, what we've seen now, to me, is just the tip of the iceberg. In a normal society, prior to this election, with what have been happening in the East, between the Anambra axis and all that, by now, the state of emergency would have been created in Anambra. The elections would have been postponed or cancelled for some time. Must you hold the elections? What we are going to see on Saturday is going to be a mere shadow of himself, just to bring out somebody to say, yes, a governor, a party has won. There's not going to be an election, whether you like it or not. With the tense atmosphere we are experiencing now, for God's sake, who is a normal citizen of Anambra State that has no stake in the election, that has no business in the election, won't come out to come and vote? Nobody will release his or her children or her family to go and queue to vote for who? Unless you have a link with the election. And the crowd is going to be scanty. The real candidate of Anambra election is not going to be the popular candidate that will win this election. It is the desperados that will eventually win the election. So it's not a popular candidate.
Okay, Barrister Tim. Now, as a way forward, still talking about entrenching democracy. Now, if elections, like Egalo has said, if a state of emergency was probably imposed on Anambra and the election did not hold, there will be a vacuum. And that would have been another problem, But to avoid that, the federal government has assured of security. The governor of the state, Governor Biano, has been campaigning and assured of security. Candidates, ABGA candidate, APC candidate, PDP candidate, they've been crisscrossing Anambra, assuring voters, assuring residents. Now, don't you think, yes, that with the security personnel that have been deployed to Anambra, that could actually salvage the situation?
Well, I want to say that the prerequisites for entrenching democracy is the rule of law.
Yes.
We don't have respect for the rule of law. And it's a show of shame that for just a state election, you are deploying more security forces. Where we are at the brink of a dangerous precipice over the insecurity that hangs over us like a sword of Damocles. Why not deploy the same security forces to fight Boko Haram, banditry, and all the likes in the Northeast? I don't know where we stand in this country. But I want to say that things are falling apart. we are talking about entrenching democracy. You cannot entrench democracy when there is no regard for the rule of law. Look at the invasion of a very revered senior justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Mary Odele.
Yeah, we are going to come to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I have to say this because there's always aberration in administrative dealings since the inception of this administration. And that to us does not augur well. So if you're asking me whether election will hold in Anambra or not, I'm a lawyer, I'm not a politician. But like I have said, and I will reiterate, that election will hold if there is no interference and medical interloping with the powers that be.
Will you advise the voters to actually go out on Saturday and cast their votes?
Well, that's an individual thing. Because for some time, we have been seeing deployment of soldiers in that Anambra.
Yes.
And we wonder why. If there's so much deployment of soldiers in that state, why not use the same zeal and zest to deploy soldiers to Sambisa forest to fight Boko Haramism?
They are
Banditry.
fighting Boko Haram there.
Are we getting the needed result? Let me tell you, you know, if you don't have success, your effort will not be counted. We are talking about fighting Boko Haram and armed banditry. Are we not hearing of news of kidnapping on a daily basis, attacks by Boko Haram loyalists, attacked by bandits, attacked by herdsmen here and there? So we have to face the fact. What I have told you times without number that I don't play the ostrich. I say it as it should be.
Yeah.
So I'm point blank in saying that the zest and zeal employed in deploying soldiers to Anambra for a gubernatorial election, same should be used to deploy soldiers and security forces to fight armed banditry, Boko Haramism, and herdsmen clashes.
Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you. Apostle, now you are a man of God and you lead men, you lead congregation, you preside over congregation. Now looking at, because if there's no election in Anambra, you won't have a government. So don't you think that the federal government has done the right thing, deployment of security personnel to Anambra, to give the people that assurance, to enable them to have confidence in the security personnel, in the government, you know, like going out en masse on Saturday to cast their vote so that they can actually decide who governs them. Don't you think it's right that the people actually participate on Saturday?
First and foremost, sir, insincerity in the part of our leaders is a major problem.
Okay.
Now, if our leaders are really sincere, you know, things that are happening now will not be happening.
Yeah.
For example, in Anambra State, if, to start with, I don't see any reason where, you know, if you watch over 30,000 officers will be just in Anambra State, while other states are even in need of security. Now, if the people, the leaders, our government is sincere, we don't even need to go with that numbers of security officers. You know why? Like you said, that they are bringing those security officers because to prevent so many things not to happen. But what about they are not sincere? Because a situation whereby the people now discover that these security officers, whether the military, the police, he's now working for one side, oppressing the other side, there'll be a problem. But if this security, you know, officer that is sent to that state to make sure there is law and order, he's sincere, you know, the body language is not the other way around. You get it now? I think it will you know, we hearing that they have sent so many numbers of thousands of security officers to Anambra State, the yielded result will be there. But we have watched so many elections before now that we hear that, you know, numbers of police officers, military, and all different parastatals has been sent to come and make sure the election work. But at the end of the day, discover that they are working for one side. Are you getting me, sir? If that did not happen, if they really go there,
that will not
because
happen.
No, you are talking for yourself, sir. Because I started with insincerity. Now it is good to bring all the security officers to the state, but are they really coming to secure or to work for an individual? Because if they go there, because the people will read the body language, that is where the problem comes. Because when party A or party B discover that the soldiers that are deployed, the police that are deployed, is not being sentimental, you know, like, are you getting me now? That's where the problem comes. But if they discover, for example, from the beginning, if the, you know, the people, the citizens of the Anambra as a state discover, knows that the security apparatus that are there, that are on ground, are there for everybody, you know, there are many crises that will not come up.
Okay.
But where problem will come, when they start reading some body languages and discover that, oh, even though they have told her, that's why even now that they are hearing that, you know, they are seeing or they are hearing that thousands of officers are already in Anambra State, they are still skeptical, they are still very careful, they don't trust them until they begin to see what will begin to happen. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because election have passed, we have seen that sometimes security agency that is sent to go and monitor, you know, election, end up allow things to go wrong to favor the other side. Are you getting me? But if the people, if the security officers that have been sent are allowed to do their job, you know, that body language we're giving to them to say, yeah, we were sent to Anambra State to make sure you keep peace and order, you know, you allow the law, the rule of law to take place, I think the story will be okay. But if they do otherwise, you know, we might see different things.
Now, before we allow Ambassador Ilaloa to make his comments, he actually knows political terrain very well because he leads the pressure group, Democracy, United in Democracy, UID. Okay, now, in Anambra, the IGP has assured Nigerians, and of course, the residents of Anambra State and environs, that the massive deployment of security personnel to the state is not to scare voters, but rather to protect voters. And he has assured us that the 3 senatorial districts of the state, 21 local government areas, and 326 wards, and 5,720 polling units across the state will be properly manned, will be properly taken care of by security personnel. In other words, they should not be scared, but participate. Now, is that enough to calm the nerves of the people of Anambra State on Saturday? There you go.
Well, first and foremost, I have to give kudos to the federal government.
Okay.
To the police force for drafting security forces to Anambra, 34,000 to be precise. Welcome, David. The era of security people participating in election is gone.
Okay.
We are modernizing it. If you look at the Edo State election, the last Edo State election, it was a little bit civilized. The results were coming, it was flowing on air, on TV, and everything. We were all saying it. It was there was no impact from the security men.
Okay.
Gone are the days where you see police officers carrying ballot boxes to be stuffing it. No. Bringing them to Anambra for security reasons is a welcome development to calm nerves, to allow the people have that confidence in the election that people are there, security forces are there to protect us, let's go and vote. But from my own experience as, you know, following politics, the recent political system in Nigeria has kind of transcend into some kind of civility in how we play our politics, especially in the last Edo State government election. So the policemen coming to participate or make fraud or in the election, I don't think it's going to be possible. Okay. It's just to do their job and maintain peace. And I don't think that, considering the situation there right now in Anambra, where there's tension, IPOB, this and that, no security, imagine security forces that came in to kind of,
do show of force.
For a show of force, they've been attacked. So
that's really shocking.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Not just before the election. I think if the federal government still has other forces, they should still send them down to to create security-free election. So I think it's a welcome development. It will calm nerves. It will allow the citizens have that freedom and opportunity to go and cast their votes for who they want to be their government. I don't think there's any mission or any reason for security people to participate in subverting whoever wins the election. It's a nice thing.
Okay. So that's that on Anambra election. We'll talk more on entrenching democracy. But there's another very disturbing aspect of our topic today, and that's the rule of law. There's a school of thought that actually believes that there's no rule of law in Nigeria, that people don't obey, that there are so many laws, but implementation of the laws, respect for the laws seem to be the problem. Not that we don't have the laws. And I know that Barrister Tim is very amped to actually dissect this for us. Yes, it was disturbing when Justice Odili's residence was attacked. The Supreme Court has reacted, condemned the attack. There was allegations against the Attorney General. The Attorney General has reacted by saying he's not involved. And so many reactions really against that incident, against that invasion. The first question I will ask you is it right for the residents of justices to be invaded, to be searched by security personnel?
My answer to that is affirmative no.
Okay.
This is an affront on the judiciary. This is a danger to the sanctity of the judiciary. No sooner that we had thought that executive lawlessness and recklessness have abated, that we are witnessing this evasion of the second most senior justices of the Supreme Court. I'm happy that the Nigerian Bar Association have reacted and in one voice, damn me, condemn me, making it a damnable act.
Yes.
The evasion of the residents, the Abuja residents to precise, of Justice Mary Odili. We are touched. But judiciary, like we say, is the last hope of the common man. And taking into consideration the fact that this is the second most senior justices of the Supreme Court of Appeal, we are worried. What is happening? My dear brother, what is happening in this our nation state called Nigeria? I think that this act of impunity must stop. Executive lawlessness and recklessness must stop. We are not in a Machiavellian era or a Robert era where you take laws into your hands.
Okay.
This is constitutional democracy. Why should it be? And even also take into consideration that this woman, however you see it, is going to be the CJN likely of this nation state called Nigeria. Because we are taken aback by the elongation of office of the present CJN. The CJN, Mohammed Tanku's tenure has since expired. But the president deemed it wise to elongate his tenure. Why? We have had brains like Karibe White, Justice Kayode Esho, Justice Oputa S.A. They were not bothered by elongation of office. Those were like minds, and they were near intelligence of master of the role, Lord Denny. Any lawyer will tell you that Justice Oputa, Justice Kayode Esho, Justice Karibe White, they were sound justices. And they never bothered. But if you are a professional in your profession, you would like to get to the apogee or the very zenith of your profession. Justice Odili should be the CJN now. But there is a challenge. We are not happy. Justice Mary Odili, aside being beautiful in physiognomy, she's also beautiful in judicial intelligence.
Yes.
Any lawyer will tell you, I have appeared before her.
Okay.
Severally, not just once.
Yes.
So we are worried because we don't know what is happening. And the worry is even more, terrible because less than a year from now, we'll be talking about 2023 elections. And this is the woman that, by God's grace, will be at the helm of affairs at the third tier of governance.
Okay. Now, before my other guests will comment, you've just heard what Professor Tim has said, but let me give you additional information. The Supreme Court has actually said that the judiciary should not be seen as the whipping child of the three arms of government. There was a statement that was issued by the Director of Press and Information, Dr. Akande Festus, that from the Supreme Court, that the said attack was uncivilized and shameful show of primitive force on an innocent judicial officer. But let's look at rule of law.
Can I react to that statement?
Okay, quick one before my other guests.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, we lawyers, we are not happy. That statement came 4 days after the invasion of Justice Mary Odili's Abuja residence.
Okay.
Why that number of time? If you add up 24 hours, times it by 4 times,
Yes.
there must have been so much reasoning on the matter. That shows culpability. Because we are worried. Because outside the delay in condemning, damning the act, making the act of invasion of Justice Mary Odili's house damnable by the Supreme Court, lawyers have reacted.
Okay.
Excuse me, what I'm saying
We
is,
have to interject now. I'll quickly take a break for the news headlines and then Professor Tim will continue. Yes, it's a delight to have you. Like I always say on the program, it's always a joy, a thing of joy to know that you're spending your 60 minutes with us on the program, 60 Minutes in Nigeria. We're actually talking about entrenching democracy and rule of law, and we're looking at the second aspect of it now, which is the rule of law. A case study is what transpired at the Abuja residence of Justice Mary Odili. Before Professor Tim will continue, the question probably on your lips, what is the rule of law? Rule of law, the mechanism, process, institution, practice, or norm that supports the equality of all citizens before the law, secures a non-arbitrary form of government, and more generally prevents the arbitrary use of power. Professor Tim, you were commenting on, you were actually venting your reaction. Can you just wrap that up?
thank you very much, Mr. Ewusa.
Okay.
I was saying before the break that we are not happy, we are sad as lawyers that there should be invasion of a very revered judge.
Okay.
The second in the hierarchy of the justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Mary Odili. And I did reiterate that that woman, aside her beauty, looking at her physiognomy,
okay.
yes,
Yes.
she has beauty in her judicial intelligence.
Okay.
And we lawyers respect that. And now, she is supposed to even be the CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Why should the president elongate the office of Mohammed Tanko? We are asking why. We have had very good and beautiful brains.
Okay.
Like I reiterated,
Yes.
please pardon me.
Okay.
Justice Khaledi Esho, Justice Caribbean White, Justice Okuta, whom we lawyers will feel that their intelligence is near that of masters of the role, Lord Benny of England.
Yes.
So we are worried. This is the same woman by 2023 when you are conducting the presidential election that will be the CJN, likely, if nothing goes wrong, should be invaded? For what reason? Now, I'll have you know that they are saying for alleged illegal activities. If there were, quote and unquote, illegal activities, let them make it known. And the sad aspect, and sardonically so, the Attorney General of the Federation had distanced its office from that. The Chief Justice of the Federation made a statement after 4 days. We are worried. What is happening? Okay. This is an act of impunity. This is a danger to the sanctity of the judiciary. Okay. And I say that this executive recklessness and lawlessness must stop. Are we in a this is a country that has been built on constitutional democracy. And like I said before, and I will reiterate, for the entrenchment of democracy, you must have respect for the rule of law. Regard must be had to the rule of law. And the rule of law presupposes that everybody is same before the law. And the rule of law respects the separation of powers. This is the third tier of governance. And there is, you are trying to make it seem as if it's at your beck and call. I want to say that what has happened in Nigeria last week and up until now is a show of shame.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tim. Ambassador Igala, you were itching to make a comment on what has happened. But before you do that, lawyers have actually reacted. Just you can see the emotion being expressed by Mr. Tim. The IGP has raised a probe panel, but lawyers are asking for independent probe panel. Lawyers give damning verdict, insist on independent probe. But we'll come to that. Yes, Egaloa and
I like this issue.
okay.
First and foremost, what is the rule of law?
Okay.
The rule of law says no person or group of persons is above the law.
Yes.
Being who you are, whatever position you are occupying, the law guides everybody.
Yes.
Now, what is the hue and cry about justices has been, what is invasion in the first place? When you say you invaded a place, shooting of gun, demolition of houses, that's what we call invasion. Crowd coming to your house, is that invasion? No, certainly not. Now, Justice Ogili's house, I've read the whole script.
Yes.
There was a whistleblower that said she's involved or there are some criminalities going on in her house. Whistleblowing. A superintendent of police, one Lawrence Adodo, demanded for a search warrant given by a competent court of jurisdiction from a magistrate court in Abuja to go and search her house.
Yes, but we're having contradictions about that.
I don't care. It is what I read.
It's not what they wrote that
it is what I read from a competent newspaper. I didn't fabricate it.
Okay.
A superintendent of police, Lawrence Adodo, due process, search warrant, given by a competent court of jurisdiction, a magistrate court, a judge. One search. Who is above the law? Nobody. And they went there. They went to search. And you and I know, such a person of such caliber, you don't just go there like that. DSS, intelligence, you can't find juju in such a person's house. You can't find gun there. It's papers. Documents. Sensitive documents that you will see there. What the kind of people do you send them? Intelligent people. Did they shoot gun there? So who is above the law? Why are they shouting lawyers? The problem we have in this country is lawyers, the judiciary. Because that is the only arm that you can manipulate. They manipulate judges in this country. What happened to Honore? We've seen justices that have been culpable in crimes in this country. So are you above the law? If they come for a search warrant, if your hands are clear, you open your door, let them search. If there's nothing, sorry madam, we are through. Thank you, go. In a civilized society, why are they crying in Nigeria? Justices. I don't know human being. The executive arms, they raid them too. Ngigi was in office as a governor, he was raided. Alimesia was a governor, sitting governor, he was raided. Ambode, when he was in office, his house was raided, nobody cried. Last week here, the legislative arm in Jos Plateau, the House of Assembly Speaker was removed. It was the same police that did not allow some legitimate honorables to enter the hall, and they removed the speaker. Nothing happened in Nigeria. Is there any impunity? Is anybody immunized against this law? You see lawyers, they make noise once they start gnashing their teeth because they've touched it. Let me tell you, there's what in psychology, there's what called stereotyping. Don't stereotype here that this one is a justice or whatever, this person cannot commit crime. In psychology, it's not. If you are a suspect, you will be checked, you will be tried. Until proven guilty. Fine, the Inspector General.
You are innocent until proven guilty.
Guilty! The Inspector General, yes, set up a panel. What is going on? It's a sensitive case, everybody knows. But give them time to work. My brother, just watch, something will come out from this issue. It's just time that will tell.
Okay.
Let me take you back to when Blair and Bush, when they were president in their various countries. The attack on Saddam Hussein, what's the country?
In Iraq.
It was a scientist that Bush and Blair worked on to say, yes, Saddam has chemical weapons to destroy this country. A scientist came out, had a press conference, yes, there's chemical weapon there. Because he's a
weapon of mass destruction.
Because he was a scientist, everybody believed. Because he was manipulated by George Bush and Blair for them to attack Saddam on personal grounds. Do you know that that scientist is from Britain? He died later. He confessed that there was nothing like that, but he was manipulated to say that sensitive issue because he was a scientist, that if he says it, the whole world will believe. These are stereotyping. Judiciary, they should calm down. Wait for the outcome of the investigation. If she's innocent, then everybody will know. Forget about 2023. Okay. 2023, Buhari is not contesting an election. Is he contesting an election? It will be open. The seat will be open for every party to come and contest. So why are they taking it personal that it's executive powers? When they start pointing fingers, relax, we will see the outcome of this situation.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. Yeah, Apostle.
No, please permit me. Hold on.
No, Pastor, we'll come to you. Let Apostle.
You are, hold on now.
No,
he will.
No, let him see.
You don't. I don't want to forget all these things.
Don't forget. Quick one, please. Quick one.
I'm laughing, you know.
Quick one, yes.
You know, Barrister has spoken.
Yes.
I will not blame the judiciary.
Okay.
Because to me, an act of conspiracy was about to play out. Now, if the judiciary or the lawyers were complaining, one of the major, sorry to say, this is my personal opinion.
Please go on.
One of the major challenge the judiciary is even having is the Attorney General of the Federation.
But he has denied that he has.
Sir, he has denied. We have saw, and listen, we have seen too many rascality. We have, so many. Some have come out on here. I've watched them countless, counter so many of his statement, his action. You don't expect him to now come out to say, well, I'm aware, I did it, because he know the fire that will come out. Listen, the reason why, sir, with due respect, the reason why, the lawyer, the judiciary reacted, due process were not followed. That's why you discover that this one is denying, this one is denying. Talking about setting up a panel, we have been seeing panel before. How did they end? What was trying to play out was to rubbish that respected justice. The people know, because they know, this government led by this federal government led by our own president, we have too many people that are power drunk. The rule of law is not taken serious. It's just like, as a senior pastor of a church that I am, I come late to church, I do what I like, and I expect my follower to do the right thing. That is the problem. The body language, the rule of law has been sidelined, relegated. This federal-led government, they do what they like, and they will now come on here trying to interpret it.
Once any of the federal government personnel are also found culpable, they
sir,
for it.
Sir, yes. What you just read from the Bible, from the paper, was they wrote what they want you to hear. You get it now? They wrote what they want you to hear. Now, as you speak now, they are not happy with the woman. And they know, sir, even though I'm not a lawyer, by the grace of God, I read. Okay. And I'm a Nigerian. Yes. And, they know that it is the time of the woman to become the next to be next
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice, and therefore they are doing, you know, we art film too, we watch movie. I say it's my personal opinion. You know, everything is just stage managed. I'm coming, sir. Yes. Everything just stage managed, because the woman and the people around this woman, they're intelligent. They have seen this thing before. They know that this is a conspiracy. And if they have not reacted, all these people today who are not saying, I don't know anything, they would have not said what they are saying now. It is the reaction of the people that brought about people denying now. Are you getting, sir? Now, to me, it's an insult. To start with, sir, I will still say this. It's an insult to the judiciary for what transpired.
Thank you. Pastor
God
T.
bless you.
Pastor T, you are
God bless you, my brother. I react vehemently and negatively so to my co-discussant's assertions. I will take time to elucidate on this matter. The magistrate who signed that search warrant signed it that same day and revoked the search warrant that same day. We are not privy to all this. I am telling you, it's there in the news media. I'm not saying what you cannot verify. These are verifiable facts. She signed the search warrant for the house and revoked it that same day on the reasoning that she was misled. Now, why did she sign this search warrant in the first place? The reason was that they said there was illegal activity in Justice Mary Odili's home, Abuja residence. If you say there are illegal activities, then go further to expatiate. What illegal activities? The magistrate, as we speak now, is a picture of dejection. Knowing that, however her actions, she has done something to the most revered justices of the Supreme Court. That's on the one side. Now I go further. If there is any allegation against any justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, we have the statutory body responsible for investigation and trial of same. So how should they have gone? Excuse me. Yes. I would. Okay. We have the National Judicial Council. Okay. They are the body responsible for the recommendation of judges, appointment of judges, and investigation of any erring judge in the country. If Justice Mary Odili was found wanting, take the allegation to the statutory body. They will investigate. If after their investigation they feel that she is found wanting, they will do what they are statutorily responsible to do. They will dismiss her as a judge, and thereafter recommend her to be prosecuted by the relevant bodies, either the police force or any of the statutory bodies. Does she have immunity as a justice? Listen. Okay. Let's look at it. Facts as it is. Yeah, but answer my question. Does she have immunity as a justice? She is a revered judge. If there is a criminal allegation, she will be investigated. Lawyers know that. Police cannot go to her house. No, listen. What I am saying now is that if there's a criminal allegation against any judicial officer, Egusa, let me tell you. Yes. Judicial officer is not just an ordinary citizen. Okay. A judicial officer, even a high court judge, is not just an ordinary citizen. Not to talk of a justice of the Supreme Court. That is at the apex, at the very zenith, at the very apogee. Yes. Are you with me? Yes. Now, if anybody or any governmental body feels otherwise over any judicial officer, the relevant body to channel such allegations to is the NJC. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier, if the NJC feels that this person, yes, is found culpable, there is culpability somehow, somewhere, yes, they will dismiss after their investigation and refer such judicial officer to be prosecuted. Okay. Now we come to due process. Okay. Was there an allegation against Justice Mary Odili? No. But it was reported that there was illegal activities in her house at Imo Street in Abuja, and they all went there. The magistrate assigned said she was misled and revoked same that same day. So what are we talking about? Okay. Let me finish, please. Yes. This is a dare affront on the judiciary. Okay. It's an abominable act, and I'm happy that The Nigerian Bar Association, in its entirety,
Yes.
has condemned the act. What are we saying? Is Justice Tanko a brilliant person that his office should be elongated? I've said here that we have had brilliant brains. Justice Karebe White. I will repeat it. Excuse me. Justice Karebe White, Justice Karebe Shaw, Justice Oputa. Their tenure was never elongated. Justice, the president, okay, I bring it for our purposes of our viewer.
Yeah, because of our viewer, yes.
Now, the present CJN, his tenure has since lapsed. When I say lapsed, he has since been due for retirement. But your president,
Our president
has elongated his office for 3 years. Now, if there was no such elongation, the person that should have been the CJN as we speak right now should have been Justice Mary Odili.
Who has the right to appoint the Chief Justice?
Beautiful question. God bless you.
A quick one. So I'm out.
The appointment of any justice of the Supreme Court is subject to the approval of the Senate and recommendation of the NJC.
Okay, thank you.
Whatever the president plays or the executive plays is just like icing the cake.
Okay.
Please, I want you to know, I don't want our viewers to be misled.
Yes.
Judiciary is the last hope of the common man. If the judiciary is being attacked now, the sanctity, the sacerdotality of the judiciary is being attacked, then Egosa, you are not free. I am not free. Because judicial officers, I would repeat, are not just ordinary citizens.
They must be protected.
They are revered citizens and they must be protected. Thank you.
Yeah, I know where you are going. Yes,
thank you.
I can see that you are also itchy. Okay, yes.
I like this.
Yes, but that said the point.
Like my learned friend just said,
yes.
It's not about law. Now, he said Tanko's tenure has been extended. The person that did it, does that person have the powers to extend the office of the what's it called?
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice of the Federation? If he has, so be it. Within his prerogative. If the law says it's 2 years, it's 2 years, the president will not do that. Let them go to the books. If discretionally the president feels, oh, this person can still continue, and it's within the ambit of the law, so be it. It can be extended. And I keep saying it. Nobody has immunity. You ask a question, justices, do they have immunity? Do they have immunity? No. They are like citizens like you and me. They don't have immunity. They can be questioned at any time. They can be interrogated at any time. They can be called upon at any time. That is the judiciary. Some of them, the justices or whatever, they see themselves as demigod, which they are not. And one thing they abuse, which they don't know, especially in Nigeria, the only person that you address as Lord is our God Almighty. Lord God Almighty. But the only person that they gave such powers to address as Lord are the judges and the justices. But some of them, they abuse it. And that is what is getting to their head. It is too reverent to be asked a question. Onogen, was he not reverend? Where did Onogen end? And let me tell you, why our democracy is not growing in Nigeria today is because of the same judiciary. The same because of the corruption there. Look at Femi Kayode. Since 2016, former aviation minister, he has 4.7 billion fraud case on his neck. As we speak, on 5 occasions, he has not been able to appear.
I don't want him to deviate.
No.
No, he's deviating now because I want to react. Leave Femi Kayode. You talk about what is happening presently. Leave Femi Kayode. He's a lawyer like I am.
My brother,
he's a lawyer like I am. So you don't let him stay put with what we are discussing.
Maybe it's your friend. I will still say it about Femi Kayode. I don't know the relationship with him.
Just make a quick point.
4.7 billion fraud on his neck.
Yes.
And we are fighting corruption. And let me tell you,
it's a judicial process.
That's what I'm saying. With the way we fight corruption in a democratic setting is different from military decree, military setting.
Yes.
There's a process. And these lawyers, they are so smart. They know the law. They know how to manipulate the law. They tell their clients what to say. If you meet a smart lawyer and you kill somebody with a gun, and you are able to leave that spot at that particular time, if your lawyer is smart, he will exonerate you from that case.
It's his job.
I know it's his job.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Okay.
The judiciary, they should calm down.
Thank you. Apostle, a quick one before.
Let me quickly say this, sir. I'm still in the agreement that the judiciary should be respected.
Beautiful.
Should be respected. Sir, I would not like us to go into, because let me give you an example. If we don't respect the justices or the judiciary, I don't know what will happen.
There will be anarchy.
There will be serious anarchy. Now, let me give you an example, sir. Let us correct this. If you read, from the Bible,
okay,
when, Miriam and Aaron, when God said that Moses, we shouldn't marry from a particular place,
yeah,
and Moses now went to marry from there, Ethiopia to be specific. He went to marry from there, and what happened? And Moses married from there, and Miriam and Aaron was angry, said, "Can't God see?" What happened? God dealt with them. Now, the judiciary or the justice or even chief judge, they are reverence. You get it now, sir? They must be respected. If you are going to, maybe, for example, there's an issue, you follow due process.
That is what they followed.
No, they have not.
Search warrant.
Sir, they have not.
Search warrant for what?
They have not.
Who said the search warrant?
Are you getting that?
Search warrant was said the
Sir,
same day.
I agree.
Gentlemen,
And my submission is this, sir.
gentlemen, I'm in charge.
Sir,
Let me speak, please.
Sir,
Please.
my submission.
I just have to respond.
I know, I'm in
He
charge.
will continue.
Yes.
Search warrant, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Search warrant that was signed, that was revoked the same day, within 24 hours. My brother, continue.
My submission, sir, is
react.
this. I agree that the justices are not ordinary people.
Okay.
That is my submission.
Thank you for that. Now, we don't have time. Our time is over, but I will just allow our team just a quick one to run.
First, I want you to know,
Yes.
that Justice Walter Onoge was a victim of political victimization. Take it. Another day we'll discuss that.
Yeah. Just wrap it up. Quick one.
Now,
closing remark.
What has happened thus far in the country? The reckless invasion of Justice Mary Odele's house was an illegal act. I will prove it. If she calls me to come and defend her, I will do that. Seamlessly. I will do that. Seamlessly. And I'm happy that the body of senior advocates, they have condemned it. They have done it as damnable acts. And I'm happy that the Nigerian Council, which I belong to, and that's the reason why you invited me here, they have also condemned the acts. Because let me tell you what you don't know. There is
I think we don't have the time.
Please, let me just say this.
Yes.
Let me just say this.
Yes.
You see, Section 33 of our Constitution says that everyone is presumed innocent until he is proved contrary by the court of law. Is that not what you learned?
Yes.
Even non-lawyers, they know this. What has Onoge done? What has Justice Mary Odele done? Nothing. So what we are saying is that I, Barrister Tim Obamedo Wonye, condemn the illegal invasion of Justice Mary Odele's house, a revered justice of the Supreme Court of Appeal, who should be and should have been, quote and unquote, the present CJN of the Federation.
Thank you very much, Barrister Tim. Ambassador Igalo, thank you very much. You've made wonderful comments here today, and it has made the discussion very interesting. It shouldn't be one-sided, and I know that our viewers have enjoyed it. Apostle Elvis, wonderful comment too. And there's somebody talking about the Bible. I believe our viewers understand that. Sometimes you need to keep your mouth shut, like what they did about Moses that you brought in, is for us to gain. So that's the show for this week. If you enjoyed it, keep a date with me next week. By God's grace, we'll be here again to look at other national issues. On Saturday is Anambra governorship election. We'll keep you updated. My name is Ego Sakunao. Bye-bye.